Hi beautiful souls, it's Tan back here with an astrology moon sign video for you, and today we're talking about the Gemini moon. So before you continue and watch this video, I'd recommend that you watch my moon sign introduction video first. So I'm going to leave a link to that up there and in the description box below, because in that video I go through certain concepts and theories of the moon sign that I'm going to be applying in this video, so it just will make a lot of sense to you if you watch that one and then come back here. So the way I'm going to proceed with this video is first I'll discuss the Gemini moon as an infant and what their needs were, and then we'll go on to talk about the relationship of the Gemini moon with their mothering figure, and then we'll talk a little bit about the unconscious ingrained habitual patterns that the Gemini moon faced when they were younger, which is actually a result of infancy conditioning. So it's not really their true potentials as a Gemini moon. So it's kind of the lower energy vibration of it. And then we're going to go into how they can decondition, how you as a Gemini moon can decondition these ingrained habit patterns to reach a higher vibration of your moon sign. And then we'll talk a little bit about what it's like to be in a relationship with a Gemini moon. And then I'll end the video talking about more about the highest potential of this moon sign. So, when the Gemini moon was an infant, there really was a lot of options for them to choose from in terms of how they could have their needs met. There was kind of a lot of change and adjustment to what was given to them when they needed something. So for example, this is just an example, you know, when they wanted to go to sleep, maybe one day the mother put them to sleep, the next day it was father, then it was like an uncle, then it was like a grandmother. So their needs were not met in a very typical way. You know, comfort was not met or was not associated with something that was typical, but it was kind of associated with movement and change. So this is not taking into account aspects, but the Gemini moon usually had a relationship with the mother that was always fluctuating. At times it may have even been chaotic, but it definitely wasn't boring. Mom was not a boring person. She had a lot of projects and a lot of things going on in her life. So the general habit pattern of the Gemini moon is that there is no pattern, but there is actually pattern in the no pattern. They have a pattern, you as a Gemini moon, had a pattern of fluctuating moods. You know, being irritated and annoyed, and then the next minute being excited and exuberant. And usually you are going to need something to do all the time. As an adult, you with a Gemini moon would find it very interesting to actually know a little bit about our sympathetic nervous system, which actually controls the rise in our blood pressure. It controls the increase in our heart rate and the increase in our perspiration, and so on. And the sympathetic nervous system is actually the seat of, theoretically, it's the seat of our instinct and our intuition, which is the manifestation of our collective and unconscious experiences, which is the manifestation of our genetic and collective unconscious tendencies. Hence, our feelings and emotions, which I've kind of expanded on this in the moon sign introduction video. So, you as a Gemini moon tend to have a more active sympathetic nervous system than all the other moon signs, because you need to constantly feed your mind, which then feeds your emotions and feelings, with stimulation of any kind, constantly, almost all the time. Because when you don't have this going on, when you don't feed, because when you don't do this, your sympathetic nervous system can kind of go on overdrive because it feels that it's lacking something and it needs to keep going. So you can start to see your heart rate accelerate and things like that. And this stems from your infancy, in which you constantly were very busy. There was a busy environment going on around you, which now has conditioned you to be this way. But if you keep feeding your sympathetic nervous system in this way, there's actually going to be very little peace of mind and peace of the body for you. But then again, if you don't feed it, then you risk the chance of your blood pressure going up due to anxiety. So in a way, it's kind of like a loop, that's trapping you. You know what I mean? To escape this trap, an understanding of the chakra system is needed because theoretically and spiritually, the sympathetic nervous system is parallel to the Hindu chakra system. So your solar plexus, your sacral, and the chakras of the lower body are actually an accumulation of collective, unconscious experiences. While the Ajna chakra, which is located between the eyebrows right here, is actually connected to the individual will of the ego. So we can say that the Gemini moon may be more prone to needing stimulation to feed the chakras of the lower body because they are more in tune to the needs of the collective than the needs of their own individual self, or the Ajna. Because they are affected so much by the changes of the environment that they're in since infancy. So, I hope that kind of made sense. So, to escape this trap will require some meditation or some Kundalini yoga, which actually helps to transfer energy from the lower body up to the lower body chakras, up to the Ajna chakra. From the collective will, right, up to the individual will of the ego. So that we can balance so that the Gemini moon person can balance all of their chakras. We need to direct the energy upwards. Does that make sense? So as a result of this, meditation and Kundalini yoga work, the Gemini moon person, you can develop your own individual emotional patterns that is independent from whatever's going on in your environment, lessening the activity of the sympathetic nervous system. If you're in a relationship with a Gemini moon, what you're going to need to know, the most important thing is that they're going to kind of be affected by everything that you do or say to them. Not that they're going to hold a grudge or have resentments, or they're going to be sensitive about it, but it's more of they're going to be easily stimulated and nervous and have their mood stirred up easier. They actually can kind of get over this pretty easily, but then after that, they're going to kind of try to work out the situation in their minds using logic. And when they do that, and if they realize that, hey, that thing that just happened actually made me really uncomfortable, they can quite easily move on from you. Bye-bye. So kind of the best way to be with a Gemini moon person is not so much to emotionally engage with them, but to more of intellectually engage with them. And if you yourself in a relationship with them and you're kind of into yoga and meditation and things like that, the Gemini moon is going to be very flexible in trying these things out. If they feel intimate and they love you, and they really should, try some of these techniques out. The second thing that you need to know is that your Gemini moon really needs to talk and communicate a lot with you. They want to tell you what they've done that day, what's been going on with them, what they're thinking, what they're planning to do next, what new ideas they have. And if you can kind of have that kind of exchange with them, they'd feel more comfortable around you. Also, if you can have a bit of a witty banter with them, you've scored with the Gemini moon. So I think we've kind of already talked about the lowest energy vibration of the Gemini moon. With a bit of habit adjustment that all the moon signs can do, the Gemini moon can be at their highest energy vibration. You can be really business savvy, you can start your own business, you can promote your products, you can, do the marketing, even more than the Gemini suns can. The Gemini moons are unnatural with business. I have seen this happening in my own life with the Gemini moons that I know. You have the power of logic and reasoning, logical persuasion, which means that you can kind of get people to see things from your perspective using logic, using the reasoning behind arguments. And anybody can really be persuaded by a Gemini moon. You don't necessarily persuade with charm, but more of with the argument at hand itself. And with some of the more evolved Gemini moons who have really directed their energy to their chakras, and you've really opened up that third eye, you can really reach a very high level of consciousness that's like way up there, you know? But if you sway, which is kind of very common with the Gemini moon, then you'll kind of like almost be there. But if you understand that the journey inwards is much more exciting than the journey outwards, then you can really get there. You can really stick to it and reach that higher level of consciousness. And that in itself is a whole new world, guys. So that's my take on the Gemini moon. If you have a Gemini moon, please leave a comment below. Let me know what your experiences have been, and have you deconditioned your ingrained habit patterns yet? If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. And thank you so much for everyone who has subscribed to my channel and has been coming along with me on these astrology journeys of self-growth. I'll see you soon. Bye!